Salut pour tous, soyez les bienvenus dans le programme Planète Équitable avec Ede Zanetti. We are talking about the new global carbon removal markets. And I've been calling your attention a lot of times, and I will be doing it again, to the fact that this global carbon market was developed aiming at improving the technology you have in your country in order to generate less pollution while promoting a social and economic dynamic for your country. And I've been focusing on bringing the subject to light by taking the example of the origins of this global carbon trade market, addressing it to the late 70s on the past century, when we have the acid rain issue based on cross-border pollution. So that was the reason why we had a new UNFCCC assembled, and then we have the Kyoto Protocol, and now we have the Paris Agreement. Different from the Paris Agreement, different from the Kyoto Protocol, at the Paris Agreement, every country in the planet has an obligation to reduce its own emission. On the Kyoto Protocol, developing countries didn't. Now every country needs to have its own goals for reducing its internal emissions, and this is called national determined contributions. The NDCs, they state what the country will be doing in order to reduce its own emissions, and what the country does that goes beyond those NDCs, it can sell to other countries in order to fulfill their own commitments. And this brings us to the Article 6 at the Paris Agreement. And within the Article 6, we have a global unified registry for all carbon credits that are traded in planet Earth. This is the 6.4 mechanism. So the 6.4 mechanism was established within the Paris Agreement in order to facilitate this trade between countries. It is the equivalent to the CDM, for example, in the last period for developing countries. When we fulfill our NDCs, we can sell the credits that are overflowing to other countries, and we can use the 6.4 mechanism in order to do that. So the 6.4 mechanism is where we should aim if we are willing to enter this market, and I'll be talking more about this in our next chapters. Let God's peace, the love that builds, be the weapons we use to fight for justice in our daily lives. Ede Zanetti for tous les amis africains.